Hello and welcome back to Minions and Misfits.
Hi.
Hey, folks.
Now, unfortunately, our boy Dillon, who is the voice of our Jake in the Box, is a little bit under the weather. And so on this fantabulous July 4th weekend, we're going to bring you a nice little one-shot to kind of go in between all of this wonderful summery goodness in our Babes in the Wood campaign. But shout out to our one listener in Germany. Or I guess we have a few listeners in Germany. Like, we have several downloads. So, guten Abend.
Wow.
We see you and we love you. Yeah. We have
Germany
German
sounds
listeners.
cool. Thanks for having
It
a cool
does.
country.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Cameron, what game are we going to be playing?
Well, since Dillon is under the weather, I was looking through my, I won't call it vast, but I will call it a trove of role-playing material. I found a game that I've been wanting to play, the name of which is kind of, a little bit of a naughty word, but we'll just say that it is synonymous with an illegitimate son. It's a fantastic game. If you're cool with using that word all the time, then you should definitely search it up. It's a fantastic portable. All of the material for it is, I think, is it like A5 sized? It's basically you can fit. I've got 6 or 7 modules for it. I could stack them all up and fit them in my back pocket. It's
When you
fantastic.
say naughty word, I think of like those like 50s level like the word bottom or angles or like it's a naughty word.
You're a
Like
dumb Dora.
G's. Yeah.
Golly.
Basically, by some people's definitions, it could be considered a curse word. So we'll just let you guys piece that together from the information we've given you. Yeah. I will go ahead and tell you who it's written by, so we're giving him credit or giving them credit. Excuse me. It is by a fabulous RPG creator called Micah Anderson. You can find them on Twitter. You can find them on Itch, I believe. They make all kinds of stuff. And then we'll be playing a module by Mana Ramp Matt, who you can also find on Twitter and Itch. Has done a lot of fantastic work for this particular game and others. I think Mouse Ritter is another game that both of them are frequently involved in, which is probably a game that we'll get into sometime on the podcast. It's imagine D&D, but you're playing as mice.
I'm in.
What could be better?
Oh, man.
So much in the grand scheme of games that Cam is interested in, this game is very pick up and play. We got 3 stats. We got single D20s. We are rolling 3d6 for our stats, but let's go ahead and dive in.
Sweet. What level of magic is there in this world? Or are we playing as like people with sticks?
Relatively low. There is magic. Wizard is a potential class that you can start as. We can probably get into it more in detail another time, but the way magic works in this system is pretty interesting. You learn words of power and you combine them in different ways to make different effects. For example, you have a word that is an action and a word that is an object, and you can combine these words in different ways for different things.
Makes sense.
But to start off, we have 3 stats, the best number of stats. We have strength, which is exactly what you think. Dexterity, again, exactly what you think. And wisdom, once again, very simple, cut and dry. We are just rolling 3d6 for each stat.
Do we get to like organize them, or is it just like straight up?
In this case, I will let you guys organize them however you'd like.
All right, Rebecca, ladies first.
All right. Ooh. Fairly middling. We've got 5, 4, and 3.
Are those like the stats, or do you add those together to make one stat?
You add them together.
Oh. Oh, so it's 3 for
Yeah,
each thing.
Yeah, 3d6 for each stat.
Let me write some numbers down. I was like, I can remember these. I'll just leave it right here. No.
While you
Okay,
do
so-
that, you want me to roll my first stat?
Yes, because math is hard for me.
Sweet, 9. That's not good.
10 on 3d6, I do believe 10 is average, so
Sweet.
Time for
Let me
stat
do-
number 2.
I got an 18. I got a legit 18.
nice.
Yeah, boy.
I got a 10, so 12 and 10 so far. Same time, Sam?
My last. I got a 17.
It's a 12.
Wow.
Another 12.
I can't. I'm not like. Do I have to show you to legitimize it?
No.
But like, it's
Oh no, you're good.
like I can't.
Pretty
even-
exciting.
I know.
You're
And
really
we're
good
only
at two
playing, like,
things.
a 45-minute game,
Yeah.
and I'm middling to fair at 1.
One
Hey.
thing. Yeah. All right, so let's go into a little bit more detail about our stats. So strength, like I said, it's your physical prowess used for melee attacks, determining how many inventory slots you have, and your starting HP. Dexterity, used for range attacks and stealthiness. Wisdom, used to cast spells, determine initiative, and the number of spell slots that you have.
Well, I guess are there different races like in D&D and stuff?
No. So you can, for flavor's sake, you can say you're playing whatever you'd like to. Classes are determined. Your class is determined by your starting HP, which we'll get to in just a second.
Ooh,
I'd love to find that
okay.
out first. Flush out the rest.
Yeah, that's smart. Okay. What is yours going to be, Rebecca? I'm curious.
I mean, where my brain is going first is I'm thinking about, like, our characters' relationship. Like, are they siblings? Are they maybe just two folks that are, like, working together to go try to rob this ancient ruin? Like, partners in crime? Is one a mentor? Is one a parent? Like, what is our relationship?
I was thinking like I could be the pet dog, and then I rolled a 17 and an 18, so I might just be a very capable animal.
A very capable animal. That'd be pretty cool.
Like a pet bear.
Have, like, a ranger situation. I would love to find out what the class is, so we can, like, if we need to roll that, so that we can know, have a better idea of what
Yeah,
this might
so,
look like. But I like this animal companion idea.
I think we need to assign strength based on our stats, and that tells us our class, right, Cam?
So you assign strength. That
Okay.
your strength value gives you your strength value plus 1d6 is your starting health. So what you roll on that 1d6 is what determines your class.
Oh man. Okay. What do I want to put for strength?
Do you
do you want to be the muscle, or do you want, or what?
My highest is 12.
Oof.
So I've got two 12s and a 10. I'm going to be pretty average at everything. So I feel like if we want a muscle, it should be you. And since we're not, like, going and trying to negotiate a peace treaty, we're going to go into a dungeon, I think we want strength. So you should,
All right,
you should
I
go
will put-
strong.
I will put
Strong.
I'll put my 17 on strength, my 9 on dex, and my 18 on wisdom, just because I'm curious what a strong wise boy is like.
I like it. That does
The
feel like a
strong
bear
silent type.
or a wolf.
They don't talk a lot, but
We've
when
already
they
played
do,
bears. We
people
can't do
listen.
bears again.
Wolf, it is.
Make me a honey badger. Yeah.
But honey badgers don't care and won't be invested in our plot.
I'm in about 30 seconds of the thing. I just run off to attack a tree somewhere.
Honey Badger did care. He cared a lot.
And this is the story of how he learned not to care, his tragic backstory.
Okay.
But I will assign my lowest stat to strength, my 10, and then my other 2 I will do wisdom and dex.
Sounds good.
So should I roll a d6 to add to my strength for my health?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. So roll a d6.
I rolled a 2. So
I rolled
19
a 1.
health. Oof. We're not going to live very long.
Rebecca, you are a wizard.
Ooh.
You start with 3 spells and can read all languages.
Ooh.
Sam, you are a diviner. You start with 1 spell, and you may cast bones or pull cards to point the way to a stated destination.
Ooh.
Cool.
Let's see.
A diviner. Okay. So I can cast bones. Can I just? Okay.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be.
No. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like find bones and be like, "Kid, you got it. I'm gonna take you all the way, and I'll follow the bones until I get money." That's what casting bones means, right?
Yeah.
Basically. You also, so your health is, again, it's your strength plus whatever you just rolled on that. So I think, Sam, that means you have a 19 hit points.
I do.
And
I can take a hit. And with these bones, we're going to need lots of hits.
Rebecca, you said you had 10 in your strength, so you have 11 HP total.
I can think about a hit and then die from thinking about it.
You also each have a luck stat. There's a luck stat in this game.
Ooh.
Your starting luck is equal to half of your highest stat.
9. I have 9 luck. I know what I want to be now.
You may spend a point of luck to have things go your way, or to test your luck, roll a d20 under your current luck to avoid catastrophe. Whether you succeed or fail, you reduce your luck by 1, and then every morning your luck is reset to its starting value. All right, so what do we need to roll next?
I think, Rebecca, I want to be your character's pet stoat.
Stoat? Isn't that
very strong
a kind
stoat.
of like a weasel type thing?
Yeah, it's like a little river weasel.
I gotta look up the stoat.
It's my Patronus, and I love stoats. They're adorable. I was going to be a raccoon, but I feel like, considering today's climate, talking raccoons are a bit played out.
Stoats, that's STOAT, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Also known as the Eurasian ermine. Also known as frickin' adorable. They're so cute.
They are very adorable.
Stoat.
I love it.
Who is like really strong for some reason.
Yeah. Like twice as strong as the average human, essentially. I'm a magic stoat.
Yay.
All right. You each start with a cloak, 3 torches, 3 rations, a water skin, and a knife.
Are mine stoat sized?
Yes.
Cloak,
Adorable. A little stoat
rations,
cloak.
3 torches. And then what else? A dagger, did you say?
A water skin and a knife, yeah.
List them all again. 1 cloak.
It's less like a dagger, more like a, sort of like a pocket knife, but not really like the
a
kind
utility.
that closes, just
utility knife.
Yeah.
So a cloak,
less
3
useful
torches.
as a weapon and more so. Cloak, 3 torches, 3 rations.
Okay.
Water skin and a knife. And then each of you roll a d6 to see what your starting weapon and associated ability are.
I rolled a 6 because
I
I'm
will
a stoat.
be right back.
Okay. So Sam, as a stoat, you, since you rolled a 6, you start with a piece of armor, and you get to roll again.
Ooh.
It's up to you which. So armor comes in. It's basically divided up by body part: helmet, cuirass, greaves, gauntlets.
Let me look up what a stoat would wear. Stoat armor. What will Google show me?
Oh man! So if neither of you have ever read Mouse Guard, you absolutely should.
I think a stoat
Noted.
needs a good helmet.
And it would look
I
so
definitely
cute.
need a good helmet as a stoat. Yeah.
That sounds good.
So I have a helmet, and then I get to roll again.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, 4.
Okay. You have a medium weapon.
Ooh.
And +1 attack per round.
Ooh, +1 attack. I like that. What's a medium weapon in this game?
I would consider a medium weapon to be, let's see, like a long sword.
Could he replace it with?
Basically a hand and a half kind of sword.
Could he use his claws and teeth, but roll for the whatever the number is?
Sure.
I feel like
Get creative.
In my mind, this stoat has definitely rifled through a lot of trash. So I think it would be a type of trash that he uses in conjunction with his teeth.
Okay.
I feel like I know. He got like the end pieces of several forks and kind of put one on each hand. So he has claws and then some. So sharpened forks.
Nice.
I like it.
And it would technically be two-handed. So how many attack? You let me know how many attacks that equals out to, because he has like 2 hands of forks. 2 fork hands.
We'll say that's still just 2 attacks.
Okay.
Normally you would get 1 attack per round, but since you get +1, you're getting 2 attacks a round.
Nice.
Fork hands.
Now, what do I need to roll? Just 1d6?
Yep, 1d6.
Alrighty. That's a 5.
All right. Let's see. So you have where did it go? A heavy or ranged weapon, and you have advantage on healing rolls.
Ooh. We'll go with ranged. So I think I'll go with a crossbow flavor-wise, if that's okay.
That sounds good.
What's your character like, Rebecca?
I was thinking of using a wizard character I already have in my head, named Thelka. She is a traveler and a bit of an anthropologist. She loves recording the stories and histories, probably more history than anthropology, of different people. So I'm imagining, since it's a dungeon run, we are, somehow we've found each other, and Thelka is trying to find some artifacts.
I think, what if, I feel like a good element of humor, because we have to be a minion and or misfit, because the show is called Minions and Misfits. What if you've already used the most powerful spell, because he said that spells are limited, kind of, in this world. Like, you've already used the most powerful spell you've ever had to accidentally turn me into a stoat. And so all the spells you have now are kind of like, oh, well, never going to work my way back up to that.
Incredible. I like that idea. I hired you, and I was like, oh, well, I found this spell that will give you incredible power. Now, do I put the E before or after the C? I think it's this way. And then you turned into a stoat.
You didn't know if it was strength or stoat, but you said stoat.
I don't speak this language. I'm from very far away.
Okay,
but
so
he has since embraced his personality as a stoat, and when he has his helmet on, he becomes Vengeance, the stoat.
Vengeance. Each of your weapons do D6 damage.
All right, sweet. My fork hands.
Okay, so now both of you have spells, so let's move on in spells.
Ooh. Stoat.
By default spell. All right, if you
Stoat
start with a spell,
spells.
roll on the following list. By default, spell effects last 10 minutes until you cast another. Spells that deal damage do a d6 per caster level. Spells can be reversed. Summon light can become dispel light, for instance. Can hold a number of spells in your head per day equal to your wisdom. Okay, so we'll do Rebecca's spells first. Roll a d20 twice.
I just realized I'm basically playing the character of Shredder from Ninja Turtles, but as a stoat.
Yeah, you're like European Shredder.
Yeah.
Cute. That's a 9 and
If you were to mix...
a 9 and a 13.
9 and a 13. See through air.
Oh.
That's a bit disappointing.
Well, what's as sort of vague as some of these spells can be, it's up to you to decide how you want to interpret what that could mean. You can get creative with the way you interpret what those words mean.
That's more fun. Do I need to roll? I get 3 spells. Do I roll 3 more times?
Yep. Or 2 more times.
Oh, yeah. That's how math works. That's a 14 and a 6, a total of 20.
Breathe stone.
Breathe stone. This is
I
fascinating.
imagine you just burp out a pebble every once in a while.
Just coughs up sand.
And finally, a total, a 10 and a 16.
10 and a 16. Engorge ghost.
Ooh. I imagine that could be actually very useful for our purposes.
And then, Sam, you have 2 spells, so go ahead and roll me a d20 twice.
Oh, I thought I
2
only had the
times.
one. Or do I have 2?
I'm
a diviner.
Diviner. 1 spell, sorry, yeah.
I'll take
So,
2.
Roll a d20 twice.
I got a 12 and a 16.
Okay. Solidify/liquefy ghost.
Ooh.
Vengeance the Stoat has a little bit of necromancy abilities that he's not telling us about.
Vengeance. And his name, when he doesn't have his helmet on, however, is Baguette.
Baguette.
I love it.
My name is how you say baguette.
Sorry to the 2 French listeners out there.
Should have named him something like Strudel for our German listeners.
And that's character creation.
Strudel.
Strudel.
Strudel is his cousin.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody in his family is just named after different kinds of bread.
Just different
We are the
pastries.
Carb family.
That's my sister Ciabatta.
There's our cousin Danish.
They're very distant relatives to Muffin in our other campaign.
Very
Yes.
distant. Okay, so let's get into Blade in the Burning Peak now that we know our characters. Remind me what your names are again. Elthis and
Thelka.
Baguette. Thelka, sorry.
Thelka.
Right Thelka or Thelka?
Thelka.
Thelka.
TH. The Elka.
Yeah.
The elk.
The L-K.
The elk. I am Baguette, but when I have my helmet on, I become Vengeance.
Vengeance.
The Stoat.
It has been several months since Thelka and Baguette first arrived at the Blackened Coast. And the entire time they've been here, they've been hearing stories about something that resides inside the Burning Peak. and the treasure that is rumored to be there.
It's
So
near the overdone caverns next to the crispy fountains.
The blackened Caesar Ridge.
If you get to the undercooked dough, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
You've gone too deep.
But once you pass Krusty Castle, you just take a left and you're there.
Krusty Castle. So, as any aspiring adventurers would do, they go there. And as you approach this imposing mountain with a thin wisp of smoke drifting out of the top, a line of the legend that you guys have heard kind of echoes through your head. Her breath is sulfur, her lungs bellow ash. Deep in her pierced heart, a blade in the burning peak.
Thelka repeats this ominous line to Baguette, who I'm imagining is like on her shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of draped around her neck
Or
like a
hanging
mink
on
shawl.
one of those.
And when Baguette hears this, he goes, ah. And he kind of like reaches down into the backpack and he kind of gets a small metal helmet and puts it on and just kind of brandishes his fork in the hands.
his fork in hand.
We're nearly here.
His beforked hands.
And he kind of slithers onto the ground. Just says, blade in the ground. Ha! And he kind of stabs the ground with his fork hand.
He stabs the ground and looks up. He realizes that in front of him is the mine shaft that is rumored to present the way into the burning peak itself.
I was metaphorical.
Yes.
I knew that was there the whole time.
Did we pack any rope? I think that would have been a good thing to pack.
I don't have a rope, but I have my... He branches his hands again. My fork hands.
I bet at least you could climb down this mine shaft, but... Well, if there's a mine shaft, maybe there's a mine lift. Maybe.
Ah. Yes. Can I use kind of wisdom to scout the area? Because I feel like he would scuttle about trying to see what's up. Being as stealthy as a stoat wearing a helmet and fork for hands could be.
Right. There's just like a rattling sound as he just kind of scuttles around the area looking for stuff.
And just to clarify, I can cast my wisdom in spells per day? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to cast my first spell, if I may, to see through air. I would like to kneel by the mine shaft and just like blow towards the mine shaft, and using this spell I would like to see through the currents of the air going down into the earth and see what I can see down there.
Oh, you
I
have
like
daredevil
that.
powers.
Whoa.
Spell effects last 10 minutes. Okay, so you don't really have to roll anything here. So you're not like trying to target anybody or anything. So just mark off a spell slot, and you see it is not actually vertical all the way down. It's vertical for maybe 6 feet or so, and then it reaches sort of a slope that is shallow enough to stand on and continues down into the dark, which your spell sort of allows you to see how it carries on down for the next 30 to 40 feet. It's clearly been abandoned for a very long time.
Fantastic. Do you see anything? Vengeance? You're Vengeance now, right? With the helmet?
And he kind of like his helmed head just pokes up. Yes. Can I roll to see if I see anything?
You don't have to roll. So you see there is sort of an abandoned, probably what used to be a crate and some barrels, but it's sort of been smashed up or decayed. Probably just a spot where whoever was mining this area left supplies. You see a coil of rope. It looks pretty old. It's iffy whether or not you would be actually able to use it, but it's worth a shot.
I drag it over to Thelka.
Ah, perfect. Thankfully, it's not a straight shot down, so I'm going to take my cloak and I'm going to wrap it around my waist so I can kind of like scoot down. It's going to protect my bum, pretty much. So if I do lose my traction as I'm like scooting down, I won't like bruise my tailbone. But we'll use this rope to try to help too.
Nothing hurts an adventure like a bruised tailbone.
I'll mess you up.
I feel like a steep like decline is not really a big threat to a stoat, because I feel like I've definitely like used to it. So I want to like glide down the rail, like slide down it, dragging my forehand behind me, like leaving a trail of sparks.
Yes.
Like being way too loud and unnecessary.
All right, and meanwhile, Thelka is just sort of like.
But I'd like to take the rope and try to tie it off somewhere.
Wiggling down.
And maybe like use that as a little extra help.
Yeah, there's plenty of like rocky outcroppings that you could tie off to.
Yeah.
What took you so long?
I didn't want to break the rope. We'll want it on the way out too.
She gets to the bottom like 10 seconds after he does, but he still says that.
He kind of like scuttles along.
Gonna take out one of the torches since it's dark and get that lit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He goes, the night is my friend.
I am the night.
Well,
do stoats have dark vision? I feel like they're nocturnal.
They're probably crepuscular, if I had to guess.
What's crepuscular?
Dawn. They're active at dawn and dusk.
Dawn. Dawn is my friend.
And also dusk.
And also dusk.
Right.
They were really sweet. I met them in town. They were very nice people.
No, I mean the times. He kind of like waves his forked hands up. It's all part of the persona, you see.
Right.
Nowadays, all the great heroes are gone, so he's trying to build a brand around the Vengeance, who's a much less well-tempered. It's a much more ill-tempered person than Baguette actually is.
Mm-hmm. Well, when we tell the story, we can just say
Bruce
it was
Wayne,
dusk.
Except, imagine if Batman was Bruce Wayne trying to have a bad attitude when he didn't actually have one.
Mm-hmm.
So the torch sort of lights your way. There's more of these sort of busted up pieces of mining equipment, cart that's missing both of its wheels, buttresses that are sort of starting to bow under the weight of the ages that they've been down there. Clearly, and the people in the nearby village have told you as much, but it's been generations since the last time this mine was active. Practically before living memory. But the shaft continues on and winds a little bit slightly and opens into not something you would expect to see in a mine, but sort of a study, a room set up kind of like a study. There's an ornate wooden desk that's been overturned, shelves that have toppled and long since been emptied out, but there's a trophy case that seems oddly untouched, and inside of it is a sort of mannequin head around which has been wrapped a strange scarf that appears to be covered in magical runes or glyphs.
Can I? He's gonna pull out out of his cloak, because he's all of this is this whole stoat like is basically, again, think like Batman, like just mostly cloak with like fork hands occasionally coming out and like a helmet on top, like a shiny silver helmet on top. He's gonna kind of reach inside his cloak and just put a small, like 2-inch long bone and pluck it on the floor, and be like, he's gonna like open up his helmet. Oh, okay, kid, this is your chance. Should I get that scarf?
I like to
see, like put his hand on his chin.
I'm imagining that it's just a wishbone from a chicken that he had for breakfast.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
It he throws it on the floor and asks the question, and it sort of like rattles a little bit, and then pops up onto its 2 little wishbone feet.
Oh my goodness!
And just sort of toddles over towards the case.
That looks like a yes to me.
He's a star. And kind of closes the helmet. And you're going to grab a small pebble and just throw it at the glass of the case.
Okay. It tinks off of the glass.
Okay,
how small of a...
Slightly heavier pebble. Throw it.
Okay, this one kind of makes more of a smack noise, but it still doesn't quite break it.
Hold on. You see how other things in this room are toppled over?
And he kind of goes to the back of the shelf and starts
Wait,
to
no, stop. That's the thing. This is the one thing nobody pushed over, which makes me think it may be protected by magical means. Let me see if I can get this spell to work. I would like to try Engorge Ghost. And let me tell you how I wanna try to get this to work. I would to try to engorge the ghost, the memory in this place of people who used to open this cabinet. I wonder if I could, like, engorge is like make bigger, fill it up, like this memory in the spirit of this room. I would like to make it more solid so I can project an image of somebody reaching in and getting this scarf in the past.
Okay. I like it.
Sweet.
So, Thelka sort of does whatever her magic is. She like whispers some magical phrases and words, sort of an after image, a blur of a humanoid figure. Sort of, it kind of plays in a loop almost. But you can see like you can see the outlines of where the shelves used to be are sort of faintly glowing. The outline of where the desk was standing, and you can see this figure sort of moving in patterns across the room. You see it locking and unlocking this case with a key. Now would be a good time to let you guys know that there are some doorways leading out of this room, specifically one on each of the walls, and then the way back into the mine shaft is behind you.
He kind of motions towards one of the hallways and kind of just points the chicken bone in that direction. Just go, count it.
Which one are you motioning to?
The left.
Okay, and what are you? What is your stated goal here for the chicken bone?
Scout it out. If it comes back, if it comes running back, then I know there's an issue. But if it just walks back, I know it's probably chill.
Okay, yeah, it goes. You just hear it sort of like faint tick 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 tick. It's just off.
While it goes, Thelka's gonna reach into her backpack and say, "That's really cool how you can do that. Do you think you could use..." She pulls out an apple core. It's not quite a bone, but if you need anything more.
He kind of opens up his helmet. It doesn't have the X factor. Close the helmet again. Sorry, kid.
At a couple of probably 30 or 45 seconds later, the wishbone just kind of toddles back out of the door, and if it could shrug, it would.
Sweet. He kind of like motions for it to come back, and it kind of like scuttles under his cloak and is not seen again.
Okay, you said this was the room to the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So you guys carry on into this room.
Oh wait, aren't we trying to get the key to get into this thing?
Yes. Should we check this room first and see if we see a key? And then if we don't, well, I mean, even if we do, we should check out that left room.
Yeah, I agree.
We would like to search for keys and anything else neat and hidden.
Let me use my wisdom.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and roll for wisdom, either one of you.
Can we
D20
both?
trying to get under. Sure.
Yay.
You can both search.
I succeed by 1.
I succeed by 2.
Okay. So together you guys managed to find 4d4 worth of gold pieces that have been scattered around or hidden away in, drawers or underneath some of the debris.
I'll roll up 4d4 real quick because I've got these cute little barrel 4s.
Oh yeah, do it.
Look at that.
Oh,
it's a barrel for. What's a barrel for?
It means they're kind of shaped like crystals or barrels. Can you see that there?
Oh yeah, I figured that. I was making a pun.
Oh.
it's for
haha,
storing things
joke.
in, Sam.
That is...
What's a Grecian earn? About $7.50 an hour.
We got 13 gold.
Nice.
I'll take 6. You can take 7 because stoats don't need money.
Oh, are you sure?
So what does he need the 6 for?
In case stoats need money.
In
She
case
shrugs.
I find out I'm wrong.
And says, I'm mostly interested in the artifacts, but you need money to eat. Even stoats, I imagine, sometimes. Maybe.
I like trash.
Oh, well, that's usually free.
Do you still have that apple core?
He's definitely eating the apple core. But it's under his helmet, like it's just stuffed into his face. He opens the helmet and just bits of an apple core fall out.
A little bit of apple juice.
Opens his helmet, puts the core into his mouth, and then closes the helmet back. You just hear munching noises echoing around inside his helmet.
I need a mobile game based around Vengeance the Stoat.
Vengeance the Stoat.
Be super cute. To the left room.
Okay, so to the left room. So if you thought the room you were just in was a pile of rubble, this room is even worse off.
More rubble.
There are sort of wooden chests that have been busted open. There's what you could probably describe as lockers that have been toppled, and just bits of stone have crumbled off of the walls, and the room is just a mess of debris.
Can he use his knife to try to finagle some of the lockers open?
Yeah, sure. Make me a dexterity roll.
Oh no. I succeed by 1 again.
Yay.
Nice. Yeah, so Vengeance is his one dexterity based skill is lockpicking. He just stabs the lock a few times.
It's pretty easy when you're as small as he is.
Yeah. Inside this locker is an ornate brass key.
Ooh.
You found it. Perfect. Let's head back to the first room.
He hands it to I'm sorry. He hands it to Thelka.
She'll take it?
Yes, take it.
Let's go check out this scarf. And so we went to the left. Now we'll bring it back now, y'all.
Bring it back now, y'all.
Walking
All right.
backwards.
Yeah, so this
I'm
key
hot this time.
this key manages to neatly fit into the lock of the trophy case.
I'll open it, kind of
Open
bracing.
Open it. He has his fork knives out and ready to go.
So nothing happens.
Fork knives, fork hands.
Nothing. The threads of the scarf, when you look at them closely, are almost sort of silken, like shimmering in the light. And the glyphs almost have sort of a luminescent golden kind of sheen to them.
He kind of puts his paw on Thelka's ankle and says, "Take it, child."
She just nods, like eyes wide. I imagine like the sparkles reflecting as she reaches out and very gently touches the scarf.
If this kills you, I'm so sorry.
No, it doesn't kill you. This isn't Tomb of Horrors.
You become a scarf.
Right. The scarf has possessed your body.
No,
You
what
are
does
now
it
in
want?
the scarf.
It just wraps around the stoat's neck.
And then they just walk out.
Mission
Dungeon over.
accomplished.
But no, you, as far as you can tell, it's not booby trapped or anything. You can remove it from the mannequin.
I will.
You're not sure. It feels special, but you're not sure how. You're not sure if you're able to understand why it's special yet.
I don't think any of the spells I have will help me understand, so for now, I'll just put it in my bag. And let's keep searching.
Can I feel it and like sniff it and roll wisdom to see if I can discern?
Yes.
I'm very wise.
Sure.
I who am wise in the way of scarves.
You are a diviner. I imagine you might know some magic things from this place.
He like sniffs it. Oh, he rolls a nat 1, which is the best possible thing I could do.
Woo!
Nice. Yeah, so you managed to decipher out sort of the runes and glyphs on it.
I divine it, if you would.
Yes, you managed to divine the meaning of these. We'll say that it imbues Thelka with a new spell.
He kind of holds it up in his hands and says, "Child, this will give you another spell that will arm you with power." He kind of like crawls up your leg and onto your shoulder and kind of like cups your face in between his paws. "Child, use the power well." And he kind of wraps it around you and like in the
like a babushka.
Little, no, not like a not like a babushka, but like the little it's my favorite way to do a scarf where you like rope it around and kind of like pull it through.
Oh yeah.
You fold it in half and then pull it through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Sherlock
like
way.
slip knot. Yeah.
He slip knots it in and he's like, "Take it." He kind of like pats your nose and kind of slips back down.
Thelka, you have gained a new spell. It is Sculpt Snake.
Sculpt. That's exciting.
You just become really good at like making little like doodads that are snake themed.
My Etsy shop will be unstoppable.
All right, so let's see. So that leaves you guys with the room across from where you came in and a room to the right of where you came in.
To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. Now kick. Now kick.
He kind of holds his arm up like in a halt position with the fork gleaming in the air. He kind of takes out the chicken bone, kind of asks it to kind of divine the way forward. "Go on, kid."
Okay, this time it toddles out into the other room, and then a few seconds later it just comes like tumbling out, like it's not even pretending to walk like a thing with legs anymore. It's just like flopping around and rolling back out of the room.
That feels like a bad sign.
He kind of cradles it in his arms and says, "Look what they did to my boy."
My boy.
Come on, bone friend. You can take a rest. Kind of like how Ash does with Pikachu at the end of every given Pokemon battle. He kind of but instead of a Pokeball, he kind of like puts him inside his cloak. "Be careful, child.
Should we maybe go to the other room first? Or should I try out this new spell? I'm gonna try out this new spell. She's gonna hold out her hands, and
as a stoat, he definitely gets on her shoulders though, because stoats and snakes do not mix.
Do not. Thelka is gonna close her eyes, and she is going to picture in her many travels of almost dying and being eaten by random monsters. She's going to picture this giant serpent that one time almost swallowed her whole in a desert. And this time she's going to attempt from the rubble in the rooms around them to sculpt a snake like that will protect them.
Okay. So you manage, let's see, roll wisdom for me.
Okay.
Can I assist her and give her advantage?
No, not this time.
That's a natural 20.
Oh, no.
I've never been so sad.
So I'm not going to say that the spell doesn't fizzle, but you cast it, and instead of this sort of big, impressive snake that you were expecting, sort of like the tassel from a fallen tapestry. Yeah, it's like maybe a piece of rope about 12 inches long, just animates like a snake and just sort of slithers.
Can you do it again?
I imagine how this played out is she like held out her hands and like an invisible wind started to stir her long black hair and the like tassels of the scarf started to like twist and writhe and she opened her eyes and they glowed and then it all faded and this little like inchworm of a rope just
yeah. It's not even slithering like a snake, it's just inching along like a caterpillar.
And she just looks down and goes, "Oh. Huh. I only have so much I can do in a day. Maybe we should just take our new little rope friend and try the other room first."
So if I were to put on the scarf, because I have 18 spell slots, could I try to put the scarf on?
Would it work like
you
that?
could. Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on like and make
I want to
it like
just
a
bundle
small
him up in
turban.
it.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm just going to hold him up, swaddled in the scarf. Now you try.
And he has his hands out, like his fork hands out, ready to cast something.
Well, I'm like Simbaing him. Really
see.
big protector snake, not a snake that will eat us.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am vengeance.
Okay.
Suppose I already said that.
Okay, roll wisdom.
Oh
Oh.
no! A nat 20.
No! Is this one gonna eat us?
No. So
Another inchworm.
you like do the thing, you read off like whatever the glyphs are and everything, but instead of creating a snake or even an inchworm this time, he opens his eyes and looks at his arm and the wishbone is just like fused with his arm.
Oh.
such that
With the fork there too?
Yeah, so that like one curve of the wishbone is coming down under his forearm and the other one is going up over his forearm.
With the fork on top and the paw still there?
Yeah. Yeah, your arm is still normal, but now there's just two ends of a wishbone coming out of either side of it.
Ouch.
Does it hurt?
No. You just seem to have combined the wishbone with your arm.
Wow.
Maybe
There's got to be a boon here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try
Silver-
it? So that was one spell slot, right?
Yeah.
Can I try to cast a spell again to undo that?
Yeah, you can try and reverse it.
I succeed.
Okay, so you like do the magic words and everything, and then just like basically pull it, like not gruesomely, but just apart from your apart from your arm is just a wishbone again.
I wasn't a fan of that. The wishbone kind of like does its equivalent of shaking its head. What spell is this?
That was combine. Let's see, combine self and bones.
Did that give him?
That's really
Did the scarf give
convenient.
him a different spell?
Yes.
Oh. If I put the scarf back on, does it give me another different spell?
No. When you
Okay.
put the scarf back on, it gives you back sculpt snakes.
Okay. I see. That's fascinating. Either way, I don't think either spell is going to help us with whatever's in that room right now, so should we go straight ahead?
Wait a minute. And he removes his helmet and stuffs it in your backpack, and he's gonna cast Combine Bone again, holding the wishbone to his head to give him antlers.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I succeed.
All right, yeah, you successfully graft antlers into yourself. So now you've got the bone that you used to like. You basically just grafted a
Antenna.
dowsing rod into your head,
And you can just like
basically.
do sense with it that way.
Yeah, it's like it just like vibrates like a tuning fork when you divine with it.
Amazing.
I am vengeance.
Vengeance. You do find that your helmet doesn't fit anymore.
Oh no. It kind of just sits on the top of my head.
Yeah.
It just...
He like
Maybe-
tries to put it down over the antlers and it just stops where the antlers are.
I might need to take those out at some point.
What do you sense about this other room?
Well, and he kind of has to cast it again to remove the wishbone.
No, you should be able to use it like the like
Oh,
tuning
oh.
Yeah,
fork.
no, you can
Yeah.
still just use it.
Yes, no, he leans down.
It doesn't have to walk around.
Yeah.
He
Like I
leans
said,
down and
Now it just sort of vibrates like a tuning fork or
Yeah.
a dowsing rod.
Yeah, just like flick it.
Let's see. Okay, so you don't sense any immediate danger in the next room.
You know, it might be easier because I like my helmet. He's gonna cast it one more time and just put it into his tail.
Okay.
That works.
Now the tail's kind of like, it's better.
Now his tail just has like a little fork at the end of it.
Yeah.
We'll
Like
head
hits it
into
against
this-
something and it makes a noise. It's just
Whenever he's trying to like cast bones, it just wiggles in the air.
Yes. We'll head into this straightforward room.
All right, so moving forward, you see a brilliantly decorated and somehow still very polished gate. Has an ornate keyhole in the middle of it, similar to the one that you saw in the display case.
Thelka will try this key in the keyhole.
But it's not just like straight up and down vertical archway. It's sort of angled, almost like a cellar, basically. Seems to lead downward is basically what I'm getting at.
I'll try the key.
Okay. Again, the key, even though the lock is a different size, the key sort of, when you insert it, it expands to fit the lock.
That's nifty. I need
Magical
one of those.
key.
And you're able to just sort of swing the two halves of the gate open. Let's see. From up ahead, you hear a scratching noise. So
Vengeance is gonna kind of like brandish his forks and say, "You want to get nuts?" Shing.
I think we're gonna have to. And she pulls out her little hand crossbow and she's shaking a little bit, holding the scarf with her other hand.
He
All right,
comes
so you guys,
stealthily in, ready to stab something.
all right,
And she'll
so you
creep
guys
along behind him.
advance slowly forward down these sort of rough-hewn stone steps, and you come out into a room that looks kind of like a wizard's or alchemist's lab. There's crates of supplies. There's tables of experiments long since dried up or evaporated. There's also, facing away from you, is a man-sized rodent-looking creature.
Is it dressed like a wizard?
It is not dressed like a wizard.
It's
it, in
naked.
fact, has no clothes on.
Oh,
It's in the buff.
Can he... He can't liquid... Well, I'm sure these rooms are filled with haunted stuff, so what he's going to do is he's going to cast Liquefy Ghost on the ghost of the wizard, which is probably somewhere around here, which he's hoping is right above the rat thing.
Okay. Let me see.
It just falls like in the corner somewhere, like
splorch.
Okay, yeah. Roll wisdom.
Succeed.
What was your roll?
7, so I succeed by 11.
Okay. So yeah, you sort of take the sort of similar to what Thelka did, the memory of this place, and kind of weaponize it. You take the memories of these experiments, these bubbling cauldrons and beakers and things, these, like those, all of the different weird looking glass vessels that you would see in a, you take the memory of all of these different experiments and just sort of coalesce them together and just let them drop onto this creature.
Before he does that, if I may at least try, as I see what he's doing, to get him to stop before we attack this rodent. To, like, hold the liquid. Like, I'll put out my hand and say, wait! So, like, the liquid's, like,
I'm primed and ready. Yeah, I'm primed and ready to go with that. Like, my hands are up in a, like, magical position, and my tail's, like, wiggling. Go quickly.
And I'll try to speak to the rodent. Since I speak or I understand all languages. I'll say, hello?
It, let's see, what's,
We mean no harm. If you mean no harm.
It turns and, chitters and growls at you. It's clearly, aggressive.
That's harm, that's harm, that's harm! And he kind of like releases all the things.
Okay. All right, so it splashes down on it, dealing a d6 damage.
Nice.
6, baby.
Noise.
Baby.
I think
Let's get nuts! And he kind of jumps with his fork hands onto the creature.
I think just at him saying, let's harm, let's harm, let's harm, Thelka would have squeaked and, like, pulled the trigger of her crossbow.
Okay, so ultimately, the series of events that happens here is that it turns, chitters at you. Vengeance freaks out, releases the this whatever, like, caustic acidic ball of memory. It drops down, sort of essentially just like liquefies all of the hair and flesh off of this thing. And then Thelka like shoots a crossbow bolt at it that just sort of bounces off of its now bare skeleton.
Thelka's just looking horrified.
What about the 2 forks that go plunging into this guy's flesh?
Well, there's
not
flesh.
really any flesh. So Vengeance is just sort of like yanking off pieces of its skeleton and like waving them around. It's just attacking, just attacking like an anatomy mannequin, basically.
Thelka's just making horrified sounds as like bones go flying everywhere. Like dodges like, one as it goes clank up the wall behind her.
Yeah, just like a rib just bounces off of her forehead.
He kind of like regains his composure and just says, "These streets make me sick."
I guess just like hyperventilating in the corner.
He grabs the skull and just says, "I want you to tell your friends about me."
He just chucks it
New
out.
helmet. New helmet?
Because he's a nice silver helmet that actually protects him.
Thelka, after
that is a lot of...
pulling out a paper bag
wait.
and breathing for a little bit, is going to see if there's anything neat, any ancient artifacts in this room.
If he were to grab the claws and knife and skeleton hands off this and replace the forks in his hands with actual, like, retractable claws a la Wolverine, what would that look like in terms of my damage?
Well, say that'd be a D6 plus D6 with advantage damage instead of just a D6.
Nice.
He like slowly and dramatically like picks up a few pieces of like sharp rat finger and slowly removes the fork hands and kind of puts them in his cloak while whispering, "Well done, boys," and kind of wiggles his hands and casts combined flesh and bone, or self and bone.
Combined self and bone. Yeah, you can't put bone into other people, just yourself.
And so now, and then raises his hands, which are like basically like little bloody skeleton spikes sticking out of his hands now.
Oh my gosh.
He goes, "At last, my hands are complete."
In the background,
And he
Thelka just
retracts them back
sneezes as she's like looking through dusty stuff.
Okay.
I love how it's basically like very unnecessary additional claws that he already has.
Yeah, you literally already have claws, but these
Claws
ones
on
are
claws.
retractable. So as you Rebecca, I think you said Thelka was like searching through all of like the dusty stuff. So you don't find much, but you do find a healing potion.
Ooh, that's handy.
And before you ask, how do you know it's a healing potion? It happens to have a little label on it that says healing potion.
How convenient. Well, vengeance. Should we go back into that last room? Because our episode time is almost up? I mean, because we have to search this whole mine.
Well, so there's a the room continues further down out of the wizard lab. So there's the way back, and then there's also a way forward.
Is there a nice neon sign that just points in that direction and says "finale" here?
You should ask the bones which one says finale room. Like, good episode ender. I feel like that's something you could totally
I mean, that is how the bones work. You basically ask it where something is, and it leads you to it.
Well, now I have bones on my tail, but now also additional bones in my hands. And to be honest, I'm also made up of bones. And so
yeah, but those bones are already combined with you, so
it's true. And so he kind of like now raises his hands up and just like and kind of just raises it up and he kind of just steals out.
He just says, "It's this way. I feel it in my bones." Just scuttles off further into the dungeon.
I'll follow behind with the torch.
He just needs someone who can like make bones into like adamantium, and he'll be all good to go.
Yeah,
I can breathe stone.
You guys.
Ooh.
Wait,
please,
that's
please,
metal.
Please. Hey,
real quick.
Metal is a type of stone.
Is there metal in this room?
Yeah, there's some brass knickknacks and things like that.
I'd like to
little
take
wire stands for things.
some of these knickknacks, especially if I can find any steel. But bronze is also a good for weapons. They did that in the Bronze Age.
It's mostly like brass and tin.
Yeah. And I'm gonna take it in my hands and take a deep breath, and I'd like to flavor it that like it turns to dust and she inhales it and then breathe out and it continues as dust towards his bone claws, and I would like to tip them with this metal.
Okay. So this is your breathe stone spell? Okay. Make a wisdom check, because that's a
little bit of a stretch.
It's pretty refined. If you're gonna call it stone, it is pretty refined.
Can I give her assistance? Because I could give her wisdom as her sage stoat.
Sort of like I think vengeance is sort of like a familiar, like
it's a 2.
Yeah,
nice.
I succeed by 10.
Thelka, sort of creatively, almost like in The Last Airbender, where they can like see the impurities in the metal, just sort of like is able to stretch her magical ability and sort of use it to kind of creatively bend the rules of physics, basically, or the rules of magic itself, and just sort of kind of breathes in this this metal and then sort of casts it onto Vengeance's claws.
Now we're ready for the finale room. Hold her torch in one hand and her crossbow in the other.
He looks kind of wondrously at his new hands. He kind of puts his paw up to like meet your hand, and looks you in the eyes and just says, "Thank you, child."
She'll take his little paw between her forefinger and her thumb and give it a little squeeze and say, "Let's end this with a bang."
He just like looks at her and just shing.
And we'll go into the next room.
We both have a lot of health left.
Yeah, I mean, this is mostly just sort of a...
We just get shot.
It's an interlude episode. I'm not really trying to like kill you guys or anything.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yet.
We're just trying to tell a little story here.
Yeah.
Now I want to see more of Vengeance, though.
I know.
Maybe you will.
And Thelka.
Yeah.
The tales of Vengeance and Thelka could just end up being like a recurring segment for us.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I'm actually weirdly on board.
Yes.
Yeah. So you guys continue. It takes you further down, and as you descend along this sort of winding cavernous path, the temperature is increasing. Before it was sort of cool because you were away from the sun deep inside this mountain, but as you get farther and farther down, the temperature increases and increases until it's like, it's not hurting you, but it is hot. And you come out onto this outcropping. This sort of overlooks what you thought was a volcano is actually sort of the hollowed out inside of this mountain. And you see down below a massive serpentine form sort of coiled up. It seems to be asleep. Its head is resting. You know how snakes will be coiled up and then they'll just rest their head on their coil. Mm. And smoke is sort of like billowing out of its nostrils, and up and out of the opening up at the top that you thought was the mouth of the volcano. And then sort of off to the side in the center of this outcropping is a charred corpse.
Mm.
What does it look like? Like what?
Well, it looks pretty charred.
Like, is it humanoid?
Yes, it is humanoid. Yeah.
How fresh does it look? Does it look like it's been there for many, many years?
Yes. It's not actively smoking or steaming. It's basically carbonized.
Like stone, one might
body.
say.
Supposedly, yeah. I mean, if we can interpret metal as stone, you can certainly incorporate
Every mineral.
like shark. You can interpret charred remains as stone. If it looks like a stone and it talks like a stone, then I guess it's a stone.
I'm gonna motion for Vengeance to get up on my shoulder so I can talk very quietly to him.
He does so very quietly.
This is a beautiful creature, but I think we can guess it's territorial. We shouldn't mess with it, but if we can, maybe we can identify that body and bring it back to its family.
He kind of just grunts very lowly, and you can tell he's shaking.
Do I think that we would at all be able to identify this burnt body, or that it might just be better off leaving it here?
It is basically featureless. Like, imagine sort of like the bodies at Pompeii.
Oh, I've seen those. They're not great.
Oof.
Yeah.
If I understand correctly, I think we found the lair of a fire-breathing dragon.
Yep.
We should leave.
Yep.
Let's run.
He kind of
Let's
scutters
go.
onto her shoulder. Yeah, and then like running out.
Like a poof of black ash just where they'd been standing.
And just like as you guys take off, like your footsteps fade away back into the dungeon. The dragon just sort of like whether it's dreaming or whether it noticed that somebody was there, just sort of like just sort of sighs out a little small gout of flame, and then just goes back to like whatever dream it was having.
And then as they're running out again, like he Vengeance is like panting, even though you're the one doing the running. He's like, okay, good thinking. Remember, a good adventurer always runs away when they see a dragon. Take a note from the guy against the wall.
We sort of see like you guys retreat from like a low camera angle down at the bottom. We see way up, you guys just like take off and disappear. And what the viewer notices, but our characters don't notice, is the glint of the legendary blade sort of amongst the coils of this dragon as you guys disappear back into the depths of the caves and
going to the roasted tavern in the town. It's slightly crispy.
Enjoy some ironically
That was
undercooked
wonderful.
food. That was real fun.
That was Blade in the Burning Peak.
We definitely need to make this a recurring segment if Dillon ever gets really sick again.
Yeah. And even besides that, I think we should play this game some more, because I've got, honestly, if it does become like a recurring segment, I've just got tons of random stuff, random situations to just chuck Vengeance and Thelka into.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
They might not always still have, like adamantium claws and things and bones fused into them like that.
I want to bring back. I love Vengeance. I like the tales of Vengeance.
Collecting
Thelka
all
and
their
Vengeance.
little items.
Yeah.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us for this one shot.
Yeah. Thanks for humoring us with some fantasy flights of fancy goofiness. Again, check out the game with the name that rhymes with Illegitimate Sons by Micah Anderson. It's very inexpensive game to get into. There's lots of adaptations of classic D&D modules for it.
I really liked this one. I feel like it had a lot of personality and it wasn't doom and gloomy, which I liked.
Yeah.
Kind of like Morkborg and Into the Odd, but a little bit more. There's a little bit more substance to it, and a lot of kind of fun.
There's some room for some humor. So it's the game. Micah Anderson's sort of credo. I think they write it in the beginning of all of their books, basically, is I trust you. And it's basically his way of saying, or their way of saying that, like, yes, the rules are bare bones. Yes, the dungeons are bare bones, but I trust you to come up with something. I trust you to make something of this for the DM and the players. Like, I trust your ability to interpret this and to make it into what you want it to be.
Nice. Well, I enjoyed that. Thank you, Cam.
Thank you so
Rebecca,
much.
for playing. And
Yeah.
thank you, dear listener, for listening. Please like and follow us on all the social medias. I think we have them listed in our description. We will be back very soon, hopefully in the next week, with another episode of Minions and Misfits, where we kind of continue our story in the Maywood. So please do join us for that. Thank you so much for listening. Please do all the good things for this podcast. Share it with your friends. Comment. Subscribe. Those are very helpful to us. But we appreciate you, and we hope you enjoyed this journey with us.
Until next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.
See y'all next week.